Hi, welcome to Talk Baja Straight Up. My name is Ron. This is my partner in crime, best friend, Dante Huerta. A lot of you already know Dante. I've introduced him in our group. He came on our team a number of years ago. He's a real character, and he's really he's a star here in San Quintin. He puts on some of the largest events, the best events in San Quintin, and I really consider myself fortunate to have you working with me.
Me too, Ron. I can say the same thing. Thank you, man. Thank you.
And actually, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him, right? Because he's
I only pushed him for a couple of years, but yeah, so we're here now.
Well, I'm not real comfortable in front of the camera.
I don't think anybody is, Ron.
Well, I've gotten used to over the years, running the show behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And usually if I get involved, it's maybe commentary on some hot issue, but mainly I like doing the weather reports each morning and then managing the community. So it's kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone a little bit.
It always does.
Yeah.
It always does, yeah.
But we're calling the show Talk Baja Straight Up because it's what it is. We're going to talk to you straight. We're going to give you the real news of what's going on. No fluff. We're not going to, like they say, put lipstick on a pig. We're going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to tell it like it is, just like we do in the group.
Yep.
Today we're calling this pilot episode Starting Over Again. And the reason is, as many of you know, I've been involved in online discussions going back to the pre-World Wide Web days of the ARPANET with running bulletin boards. And when the internet as it is today came along in 95, I think it was, I jumped to forum. Many of you were a member of my original Talk Baja forum. Then when Facebook came,
You used to have a forum before Facebook?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we jumped into Facebook, and of course, that took off, as we all know. And I kind of felt real comfortable there. I thought I was going to stay there, but now Dante's gotten me starting over again, doing something new again. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. I really like the format that Dante put together for us today. It's I think you'll find it interesting. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dante. He's going to tell us about the show he put together for us today.
Well, you guys, thank you very much for being here with us. Like Ron says, I've been asking him for many years to do this format, and not only because it's so popular right now, but because there's so many discussions that we can take on with a different approach. So, Ron, once again, man, thank you very much for believing in these little ideas. And without further ado, we'll start with the news.
Well, let's get started.
Let's get started. So, hot out of the press news, my friends. We have two coastal development updates. So the first, Semarnat has officially pulled the authorization for the Baja Bay Club mega project in Cabo Pulmo area, following intense pressure from environmental groups and residents over irregularities in the original permit. Several of our members in the Talk Baja community work hard to help stop this project. So what do you think about that, Ron?
Well, I actually think this is a plus. Look, I understand, these developments bring jobs to a community and opportunities in that respect. But, I'm also a believer that there's just some areas that shouldn't be developed. And we really need to take care of, like they say, not to pave over paradise. And so I really appreciate the work that a lot of our members did, in regards to help stopping this project. I know some of you were circulating petitions and sharing posts about what's going on and helping to raise public interest in the topic. So, I applaud them.
Yeah, me too,
I think it's good news.
Yeah, so another major real estate project in El Sausal, Cosmopolitan by the Sea, just north of Ensenada, has finally received federal environmental authorization from Semarnat. This project it has been said that this project has attempted to start construction without the permit. So many local environmentalists insist that the developer's proposed wastewater plant is insufficient to handle the volume of wastewater the project is likely to generate. So,
Well, I mean, this is another case. I mean, obviously that part of the coastline is not as sensitive as Cabo Pulmo,
yeah.
but if the developers already showed bad faith in trying to start construction without even having a permit, that's not a good sign. But the other thing is, that area, Dante, I drive that all the time, and that area, it's narrow, and so if you're going to put all kinds of major development along there, and there's nothing left to widen the roadway, how are they going to handle traffic?
Okay.
So I mean, I have concerns beyond environmental. I even think there's traffic concerns, and so I hope that maybe some of these groups that work to stop the project down in Cabo Pulmo, maybe they can lend their expertise to look at this project, and maybe we can. I'm not looking to stop it. Maybe it just needs to redo. Maybe it needs to reevaluate. Maybe move it back and to help improve the access there, something, because I saw a plan of this project, and there wasn't much adjustment for traffic made. And so I think it needs to get really looked at.
Well, like you said, some projects need to be stopped, some others need to be rethinked.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We hope for the best, and kudos to all of our friends from the Talk Baja community and other communities that are really looking for nature, so kudos to all of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so water security in La Paz. Groundbreaking has just occurred for the El Novillo Dam, a 2.4 billion peso project. This is the first major hydraulic work in the region in 30 years.
Wow.
And it is designed to provide long-term water stability for over 250,000 residents in La Paz area.
Wow. I mean, I know that they definitely have issues down there with water, and so hopefully this can...
Everybody in Baja, so...
Yeah, but down there, because it's just grown so much and there's such density of population, it's a problem. So hopefully as long as...
It's good news.
Yeah, hopefully it's good news. It actually works out.
Yes, sir. So another topic, vaping and public smoking ban. So we gotta listen to this one. A reminder for incoming travelers: Mexico has strictly enforced its total ban on vaping and smoking in all public places, including beaches and hotel terraces. Fines are being actively issued in high-traffic tourist zones like Ensenada and Cabo.
Yeah, I think that's good. Of course, me. I'm a
huge.
I'm a huge anti-smoker, so I mean, you don't have to convince me much. But
I know.
Yeah, I do know though some friends that they were up in Ensenada just a few weeks ago, and they weren't vaping, but people at the table next to them were.
I know.
And they didn't cite them, but they did take their vaping equipment or gear. I don't know what you call it, but
yeah, let's follow. Baja California Sur tourist tax. This is an important one. The state conservation tax for international visitors has officially risen to 488 pesos, $28 approximately. Travelers are being issued QR codes upon payment, which they may be asked to show to authorities during their stay.
Well, now, is it a QR code or I thought maybe they used to give them bracelets? Well, maybe. So the article said...
Yeah, the article said QR
maybe
codes,
that's changed. So,
see, now you can have your codes in the phone, so it's very easy to just...
Well, that's true. But,
show up.
I'm going to follow up on that.
Yeah, sure.
I'll report it back to the group.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so Cabo real estate. Market analysts in Los Cabos are noting a shift from the pandemic era surge to a more strategic, mature market. Inventory in areas like El Tesal and the Marina district has increased, proving that more room for negotiations for long-term buyers than in previous years, man.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the real estate down here, it tends to be a reflection of what's going
Yeah.
on with the real estate up north of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
border.
yeah.
And the economy has slowed down a little bit
Oh,
north of
yeah,
the
yeah.
border, and so I guess that's
An adjustment,
that's to be expected.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. So traffic stability. Following the 3-day strike by teachers and state workers that has just concluded, traffic flow on the Transpeninsular Highway, as well as the San Isidro and Otay Mesa ports of entry, has largely returned to normal. However, border wait times are slightly longer than normal right now, likely due to the early spring break
Spring
traffic.
break, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well, that's
It's that time of year, man.
yeah. I mean, it's but that is good news because I got a lot of mail about the blockades the teachers were setting up
yeah.
on the
Yeah, yeah.
highways, and in fact, you posted about that
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've been
remember.
posting since the time before. It's just we want to keep you guys updated in major traffic jams, and it's a good thing that's only been happening in the north part, Ron.
Yeah.
It's
Up
bad.
to
It's
now.
bad for the tourists. We all know, but we like that it has been short, and it's been fixed right now. It's been
Yeah.
solved.
Well, that's good. Good news.
Yeah, good news.
Anything else?
Yeah, the road condition and travel tips. The federal government has allocated 612 million pesos for 2026 highway repairs in Baja Sur. That's a big
good.
one, man.
Where does it say where they're doing
Yeah,
the repairs?
specifically targeting the La Paz and Ciudad Insurgentes stretch,
Okay.
and repairs to
Good.
bridges damages during the last storm season.
Good. That's good news.
Yeah, well, the whole highway needs a really good investment, man.
Well, Claudia, the president
The
of
President
Mexico,
Claudia.
she promised us that she's going to make the Transpeninsular 2 lanes
Yeah.
the whole way. We'll see. Hopefully,
Yeah, many presidents have promised that.
Yeah.
We're-
Hopefully, I live to see that
we
happen.
we keep hoping for the best, man. So
Anything else?
the Angeles Verdes, the Green Angels, have increased patrols on the Transpeninsular Highway in anticipation for the upcoming Semana Santa.
That's right. It's coming. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're driving south of Ensenada, be sure you have the 178 emergency number saved for roadside
No, it's
assistance.
078. Isn't it?
078.
Yeah.
Okay. Emergency number saved for the roadside
Yeah, 078.
assistance as cellular dead zones still persist in the stretch between El Rosario and Cataviña.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is no per se cell service between south of El Rosario,
Yeah.
but what there are is every I think it's 30 miles. A good friend of mine, and
Yeah.
you know him too, Apilio.
Yeah.
He was hired by the council of the
Yeah.
upcoming of the municipality of San Quintin. They put in radio towers every
Yeah.
30 miles. And if you see those, in fact, I did an article on talkbaja.com, and I shared that article to our
Yeah.
Talk Baja group. And I actually have a map that gives the GPS coordinates. And if you go to those radio towers on that stretch,
Yep.
I think it's like 50 meters or 30 meters around the tower, you've got cell phone, you've got
Oh,
cell
yeah?
service, data service. So you
Wow.
can use your WhatsApp, Messenger.
That's good, man.
Yeah, and so so that's actually a good thing to know. So
Yeah. So upcoming events.
Okay.
The Holy Week, as we call it,
Right,
Semana Santa.
that's big.
Mexico is preparing for 4 to 5 million tourists to arrive next week. If you are planning to travel on any of Baja highways, including the Transpeninsular, expect heavy traffic at times. Also, be sure to have your accommodations booked and confirmed,
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
that's a lot of people, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, and you don't want to make that trip and come and find out your room is gone. So
Yes. So one last race season is just beginning, my friends. Score International has reaffirmed their official dates for the Baja 500, which is in June, and the Baja 1000 in November. And just remember that this year, Baja 1000, it's all in Baja Sur.
yeah.
So this next week, we're going to have the San Felipe 250. And in September, we have the Baja 400. So that's pretty much all we have for this
For the news.
for this news, Ron. So take it away.
What's the next section? Our topics.
Yes, our topics, man.
Okay. Well, listen. before I start though, can I say something about
Sure.
this location where
Sure,
we're at?
yes.
I don't know if
Please do.
you can see our background. We are at the iconic, historic Molino Viejo location here, if it wasn't already obvious to you.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely a gorgeous morning here. And I
Yes.
want to thank the Rodriguez family
Yeah.
and owners of the Molino Viejo for allowing us to film our Pilot Cop podcast
Yes,
at
sir.
this really it's truly an
Yeah,
iconic location.
it is iconic, and this is home, and so many people when they're arriving this area, whether you're local or foreigner, you can feel you're in San Quintin once you hit this road.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a great, and to me it does feel like home because
it does.
if you go straight over that volcano,
Yeah, right behind the canton.
yeah, that's where I live. So that's home to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's jump into hot topics this week on Talk Baja. Well, I picked 3 topics. The first one was posted is gray water with the RVs. And I know those threads got a lot of activity, lots of comments, and a little bit of tension in some of the discussion. But it basically comes down to you have RVs going into these campsites, mainly what the post covered was campsites along the southern Gulf of California, along Baja California. There are beaches like south of
We're talking about Bahia Concepcion,
Bahia
El
Concepcion,
Burro,
El
Mulegé.
yeah, all of those campgrounds, and you've got RVs pulling in, and what they are doing is they're taking a hose from their gray water drains. Gray water drains are your sinks and your showers, for example, where
Yeah.
your black water obviously
Yeah.
is your septic waste.
Yeah.
But they're taking hoses from their gray water tank and they're putting it into the ground, into the
Okay.
sand with rocks around it. And someone took a photo of that and posted it in the group,
Yeah.
and it created a lot of controversy. And most of the people, I think, agreed that this is not something we want to do. Although it did have some defenders, and they made some points. They're saying basically, if it's okay for someone to be outside their RV with a hose and showering
Yeah,
themselves
yeah.
off after coming out of the water, why is it not okay to take my shower water from inside and put it into the sand? Well, it really comes down to a couple things. One, your gray water is not going to just have soaps from the shower. You're going to have greases and other cleaning solutions that you dump down your kitchen sink. And those obviously are big no-nos to put into the groundwater. But the main reason why is that it's illegal. It's illegal, and you can't do it. And the thing is that some make the case, well, we see the local Mexicans doing it. Yeah, some will, but it doesn't make it okay for you to do it. And others, we'll wait. But one more point.
Okay.
Then I want to get
sure.
your opinion on this.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is why do you need to do that? Okay. Well, some claim is, well, after so many days, my tank's full. Well, if you're not parking at a campsite that is designated for long-term camping,
Yeah.
and doesn't have facilities for you to drain your tanks, maybe it's not a place you want to spend more days than your tank can hold.
Well, yeah, I agree with that, but also maybe you don't do it in the beach sand, you can do it like outside of the camp on the beach, like there's ground. It's not going to be the same, I'm just saying,
Yeah, oh, I know, but the thing is that there's most of these RVs that go down there, Dante, they
stay there.
They park on the sand.
Yeah, I agree.
They stay there for weeks and weeks and weeks, which kind of brings up another point to me. Why did you buy this $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 RV? You didn't buy it to drive from California, Arizona, Montana, down to Baja Sur to park and spend your whole summer there. I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of what an RV is. Didn't you buy an RV to be mobile so we can spend a few days here, enjoy it, then we can pick up camp and we move down to this other beach, enjoy there for a few days, and in between find an appropriate legal place to dump your tanks.
Well, I think it all comes down to whether it's legal or not.
Yeah, and it's not legal, but the thing is that people were trying to make the case that because the Mexicans do it, we can do it, and so unfortunately, that's not that argument won't get you any points.
Yeah. Well, especially in front of the authority.
Yeah.
I mean, if the police comes, you can't get away with that by saying that.
Yeah. So I'm going to give that a thumbs down. That's.
All right. Let's go.
All right. Next topic was hot. Well, this is an ongoing topic. We constantly get posts from people asking about, is it safe again to go to Baja? Well, safety is a relative term. I mean, you're never 100% safe anywhere, but relative to the recent news, because what happened on the mainland mainly, it had to do with the Cartel Nueva Generación Jalisco.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say the name.
Yeah, but anyway, they are the reason that if some of you remember, I made a post, kind of picking a little bit of a fight with some of the people, making it a bigger deal than it was here, because what happened in Baja was not on the same level as what happened on the mainland, and there's a reason for that. Is that the Cartel Nueva Generación Jalisco, they have a very small presence here. They're not big players here on the peninsula, and so what happened from that was small in nature, and where people kept asking, are the highways all blocked? Well, there were no cartels blocking the highways. What they did was they burned a few vehicles that blocked the highways and they left them there. And of course, the local authorities, they put the fires out, they got the vehicles removed, and the highways were all operating again, actually in pretty short order. There weren't any highways blocked for days or weeks or anything. And so that topic about safety related to what happened in this, to a degree, is still going on in the mainland, really isn't that big of an issue here in Baja because of that. Now, I'm not saying that safety is not an issue here. It is, just like I think it should be anywhere you travel today. But related to what went on with that issue, I think if you were to ask the people that live here and deal with it, the recent protests from the teachers caused bigger problems than
to the highway.
Because they actually blocked the highways for days. That caused bigger problems than what happened that made all the news. And they typically do. They paint all of Mexico with the same brush.
Well, the bottom line, if we can say it like this, Ron, you and I have been caring for tourists for many years, a few decades, and we're not going to tell you come and visit Baja if we don't believe it. Honestly, it's safe as it has always been, because you have been at this how many years?
With Baja?
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this for 25 years with Baja.
Yeah, and I've been, since I came back from the mainland, I've been here for around 18 years. And from that day on, we have been caring for our tourists by the phone, on social media, and we're just not going to lightly invite you guys to Baja if we knew that there was something else going on.
Yeah, well, and to remind people that I will also tell you if I don't think it's safe. And if you recall, I think it was a year or two ago, there was some things going on in Tijuana where the cartels had issue with the governor and they made some threats. And I found those threats credible. And I actually put out a recommendation to the group for that weekend to stay out of Tijuana. And I got a lot of flack because of it. But you know what? My sources up there, and I have good sources up there, including we have a niece that serves as an official in a supervisor category with the Tijuana Police Department. And we get information that they don't normally make public. And so I will tell you if I don't think it's safe.
Yes, for sure, man.
All right. Good deal. But we'll keep talking about this
Yeah.
because safety questions come up all the time, and they should.
Yeah, it's the main topic.
It's a good topic. It's a fair
Yes.
topic. All right. And the last topic I wanted to cover today was we get a lot of moving to Mexico questions. But
Yeah.
in this last week, we've gotten a couple that kind of triggered my interest because the topics centered around people were asking for help. How to choose the best neighborhood of where to live here in Baja. And my feedback I want to give on that, Dante,
Yeah.
I said, I think they're kind of putting the cart before the horse.
Okay.
I think that if you really are seriously considering moving to Baja, there's a couple of steps you need to do first. Now, they're right in they were doing some research, which is right, but they were asking question 7, not question 1.
Okay.
I think the first question you need to do is just research in, what is expat life like down here? What's it like to live here as a Canadian or as a U.S. citizen or European from Great Britain or to Italy, wherever you're from? What's their experience like? And you can there's so many resources now online. You can do that research. In fact, Talk Baja is a good one. You can ask a question. I'm from France.
In the search bar, you can search topics.
But you can post on there. You can say, hey, I'm a 55-year-old retired school teacher from Tennessee, and I'm thinking about moving to Baja Sur. Looking for some people with my background.
Yeah.
What your experiences? What can I expect life to look like?
Yeah.
Do that kind of research, and then start researching the different areas around where you're thinking about living, and that research should include you making trips coming down. You can only do so much research online, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you need to actually put feet on the ground sometimes.
Yes.
I think you need to start doing mini vacations down here, spending time in different
especially
areas.
if you're moving long term.
Yeah, and then you can start talking about looking for advice on particular neighborhoods around where you want to live.
Yeah.
And then don't buy yet, because this person was looking to purchase.
Okay.
You're not ready to buy
From
yet.
the distance.
Yeah, you're not ready to buy yet. Even if you've moved here, you're not ready to buy yet because you just don't, because it's a new country to you. It's a new culture to you, right? You're not going to know what to expect.
So that's your advice.
Yeah, to spend time here, rent first. Don't buy, rent first. Spend some time there, because the neighborhood that you really liked on vacation is going to look different when you're living there.
I bet.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, so those are some of the kind of things I would suggest. But, this question is going to keep coming up because it always does. And so I think on time, we're going to give them some more advice on that.
Sure. And, plus, we like giving the knowledge and advice we have. We do. Mm-hmm. I agree with you, man. So what's next?
Well, the next thing I think you have on there is local knowledge. Dante spent most of his life here in San Quintin, and I've spent nearly 20 years. And so it's given us some inside, unique perspective, right, of the things that are best about this region. And I'm going to do the first one this week.
All right.
And I'm going to keep it real close to home. And, I know a lot of you have heard of La Chorrera just because I mention it so much online. But most of you, I think I can say this pretty confidently, most of you haven't been there yet. And until you've been to La Chorrera, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
La Chorrera, especially those of you who see San Quintin as more of a road stop. Because I know a lot of you are traveling from up north, you're heading down to Baja Sur, and San Quintin is basically an overnight stop or a place to get gas. And so it's hard to envision what La Chorrera is like seeing it from the highway.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
And, in La Chorrera, it is so iconic, and photos really don't do it justice. Living there for so many years, I still get up in the morning and I pinch myself. And in fact, I swear to God, this is true. Last night, before I went to bed, I went outside, just looking at the stars or the sky overhead and hearing the surf down below. And I said a prayer. I thank God for where I live. I feel so fortunate to live there. You know, we have so much to do there. I mean, just tell people what kind of stuff they can do at La Chorrera.
Well, right now, if you're a visitor, you can do some amazing hikes to the volcanoes.
Oh, yeah, the senderismo, yeah.
Senderismo, yeah. Trekking, hiking. We have a few. They say it's like 11 cones, but the ones closer to La Chorrera are like 3 or 4. You can do hiking to the humedales, the wetlands that has been getting international attention.
They're beautiful.
Beautiful. Plus, the wetlands are perfect for kayaking.
Kayaking?
I didn't want to say it, but
I know somebody who
I'm one of the guides that take people into the wetlands.
He does.
Yeah. So it's been a blessing to.
And he's awesome, by the way.
It's been a blessing to receive so many people from so many different places, and just take them into a 1 or 2 hours tour, plus the local cuisine, fresh seafood out of the water. Ron.
Oh, it's amazing. It's not just one. There's like 3 or 4 like 3 or 4 different places that they each have their own style and a different menu.
Yeah, a big shout out to our friends in La Chorrera.
God,
they just participated in the beer fest in Ensenada, which is one of the biggest, I think.
It's huge.
Artesanal, cerveza artesanal.
Yeah, it's a craft beer fest. Yeah, it's
the biggest in Mexico. So they were there presenting their ostiones, their oysters, and other ceviche. How do you say ceviche?
Well, we call it ceviche.
Yeah. So un saludo para todos mis amigos de La Chorrera.
And I heard they did very well.
They sold out, man.
Yeah, I heard it was really
They sold
popular.
out.
Really popular. And the thing is also, it's La Chorrera. You can has great surf fishing. You head down just south of La Chorrera or just north of La Chorrera. There's 2 great surf breaks if you like to surf.
Yeah.
The other thing is
a lot of campsite.
Huh?
A lot of camping.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of people mountain biking around the area. Yeah,
yes.
I mean there is just so much you can spend the entire day there, and it's about a 30-35 minute drive realistically off the highway, but that road is what attracted me, because I like that distance off the highway, and it's really worth it. When you get there, it is so worth it, and so. That is my highlight today of San Quintin. Yes. Oh, here's another thing we forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Camping. A lot of people ask, where's a safe place to camp?
Yes.
La Chorrera has several spots that are safe to camp, and they're gorgeous. You can camp right in front of the ocean. You can camp right along the bay side, looking at the bay over the wetlands.
Yes.
You have multiple spots. There's no hookups, so you'll need to be self-contained.
Yeah.
Or if you're tent camping, it's perfect. But
there are a few bathrooms that you can use, not in the excellent conditions, but it has
a little bit rustic, but they're clean.
Yeah, but that's precisely the rustic part of the place is what keeps it clean and rustic, and
It's you know what it is? Yeah. La Chorrera. It's classic old Baja.
Yeah.
When you come to Baja, you see, you see a lot of pavement, and you're seeing, power lines and modern technology. La Chorrera is old Baja.
Yeah.
It's a completely off-grid community. There's no pavement anywhere. There's no services. But you know what? As part of that community, I love living there. I love being a part of that community, and it really is the old Baja. So if you want to get a feel for what old Baja's like, come to La Chorrera. Absolutely.
Right on.
So what's next?
What's next, my friend? We have mailbag.
Oh,
yeah. Sharing and responding to our questions and feedback. So as this is the first episode, we invite you guys to send us your messages, and we'll discuss them in the next chapter.
I
But
think it's something I'm really proud of that we're doing. And with each podcast, I told Dante that I want to highlight a Baja charity.
yes,
And I looked at a lot of them, and as I mentioned before, we have a niece that she's serves on the police force of Tijuana, and she serves in their family assistance unit. She deals personally with families in trauma, families dealing with violence, with drugs, and it's really sad. But she gave me a lead on a really, really good charity in Tijuana.
okay,
As you know, Tijuana gets kind of a black eye,
Yeah.
because, I mean, let's face it, it's a large border city. It's a lot of drugs and arms get trafficked through that city, and some of the bad reputation it has earned. But as somebody who spends a lot of time in Tijuana, because Christina,
Yeah.
she's from Tijuana.
Yes,
Her family
yes.
lives in Tijuana.
Yeah.
We go up there. We spend time with her family in their home, and they live in a working class neighborhood. It's lower middle class that sees its share of problems. But what it's given me a perspective of Tijuana. Is that
Yeah.
the vast majority of people in Tijuana, they're just like the people you meet in the rest of Baja. We always talk about how wonderful the people of Baja are. Well, guess what? That's the people of Tijuana too. But unfortunately, because of that element of being that border city, trafficking drugs and arms through there, it also gets its share of tragedies and with families. And unfortunately, as we know, kids are the ones who pay the price often for that.
Yeah.
Well, our niece, Kareli, she mentioned a really wonderful organization in Tijuana. It's called Ciudad de los Niños,
Okay.
City of the Kids. And what they are, they're a charitable organization, nonprofit, and they provide a temporary solution for kids that are coming out of these tragic family situations.
okay.
They provide a safe home where these kids can be put in on a temporary basis. And just so you know, because I haven't been the person, but I've looked into it. It's not an institution. It doesn't have an institutional feel. It's a home, and it feels more like a home environment. You have wonderful people
Yeah.
operating this organization, and it's speaking well of the people in Tijuana. They get overwhelming support from the professional community of Tijuana. You have medical doctors, clinical psychologists, professionals of all levels volunteering their time to help these kids with the immediate care they need when they first coming from these tragic situations, as well as ongoing care and helping them to learn to overcome and deal with it.
Yeah.
As well as they provide help to their families that are dealing with these problems. So hopefully they can end up putting them back together and then provide continuing care and vigilance to make sure these kids are staying safe. And so I want to give them a really big shout out today. And I promise that I'm going to put a link with an article about that in our group.
Okay.
I think that's a good
Sounds
start.
like
That's
an
a good
awesome
start,
job,
don't you
Ron.
think?
Sounds like an awesome job. And like my friend Ron says, if you have or if you know about a charity doing great job in Baja,
Absolutely.
send us a message.
Absolutely.
We want to showcase them and let everybody know about the awesome work that they're doing in Baja.
Absolutely. Well, you know what?
That's pretty much.
I think we made it through the. I'm looking through my cards. Look like we made it through the menu.
Well, we actually kind of did, because last night I added a final item to our list, man.
Is it on my card?
No, it is not in your car. It's only in my car. I called it a lightning round of questions exclusively for my friend Ron.
This is going to get me in trouble.
I hope not.
Lightning.
Are you ready?
Well, what's
It's
the format?
only Baja topic. Only Baja topics,
So no,
man.
no Baja, no brief or
No.
questions. Okay,
These
because I won't answer
these
that
are
question.
quick questions
Okay.
For our friends. So we're going to go with the first one.
Okay.
So, Ron,
I'll play. Go ahead.
Highway 1 or Highway 5?
Oh man, we're jumping right in.
Yes.
Look, I get both. I get why
Okay,
people
okay.
take Highway 5. It's faster, less traffic. But I'm an old guy, that's coming down here for a long time. I'm a Transpeninsular guy. And
Okay.
and not just because I live on this side.
You're not biased.
Yeah, well, I like that when I'm on a long drive, I like to have stops where, I can get something to eat, get something to drink, just get out and stretch my legs.
Okay.
And, maybe when I was younger, yeah, I want to just take the quick route, but I prefer Highway 1.
Thank you for the question. Keep it short because we have a few.
Okay.
Roadside tacos, carne asada, taco de pescado, adobada, or camarón?
All of them.
All of them.
No.
Awesome question.
But if I had to choose, I usually get carne asada.
Okay. So you kind of already answered the third one. Pacific or Gulf side?
Man, they're both gorgeous. That's a dual answer.
Yep.
Pacific in the summer and Gulf in the winter.
That's an awesome question, man. RV or camping?
Oh, camping.
Camping.
I've been camping since I was a little kid.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'm a camper.
Deep sea or surf fishing?
Well, again, I love both of them, but you know what? Honestly, my very best day surf fishing does not compare with my very best day deep sea fishing.
Okay.
But a really good day deep sea fishing is a lifelong memory. So deep sea.
Thank you for sharing. Baja desert or Baja beaches?
I like them both again, but I prefer the beaches.
All right, so our last one, off-road trucks. Ford, GM, Ram, or Toyota?
Oh, God, you're gonna get me in trouble. What choices? Ford, GM,
Ram, or Toyota?
Toyota. Well, they're all good trucks.
Yes.
Well, did you say trucks or off-road trucks?
I said off-road trucks.
Off-road truck. Well, see, off-road trucks, I'm gonna say Ford.
Okay, how come?
Well, it's a Baja off-road truck.
Yeah.
Unless you're Cameron Steele, who's got millions of dollars in endorsements, you're being realistic, and you're probably not going to be driving a brand new off-road truck down here. You're going to be driving an older model that maybe
Yes.
you put some money into lifting it with an upgrade suspension, blah, blah, blah. But in those older trucks, I know this because I drive. It's a rough road every day for the last 18 years. And the truck that best holds up to that abuse is Ford.
All right.
Yeah, they're all good. Brand new trucks
yeah.
or fairly new trucks, or if you're just coming down for a vacation, they're all good. But if you're driving this stuff every day as I do, Ford, they hold up better than any other truck I've driven.
Well, that's the lightning round questions,
Well,
my
good.
friend.
And I made it through unscathed.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Okay. Well, good.
So we're reaching the end of our first episode. What's left to say, Ron?
Wow. Well, thank you, Dante, first for insisting
man.
and pushing me to do this.
Thank you.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I promise I'll get better. But thank you, and I also want to thank our main sponsor, Baja Bound. They have been a loyal sponsor to Talk Baja. They are great people. They are the top.
They've sponsored our Reto Volcanico.
Yeah, they sponsored events,
Yes.
Dante's events. And,
Thank you very much, man.
They are great people. They do a great service for Baja travelers.
Oh, yes.
And we hear about it. You don't take my word for it. Every time someone asks a question, who do you guys recommend for auto insurance? Our members, they can come out and tell you, you got to go with Baja Bound. They took care of me with this accident.
Yeah.
Because having an accident in Mexico is not like having in Mexico an accident north of the border. Down here, it's really bureaucratic, and if you don't speak Spanish fluently, you're going to have a rough time. And so Baja Bound, they do a great service, and I really appreciate them sponsoring us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I want to thank our community too. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be here without you. You guys keep fueling our growth. We just, we just don't seem to slow down. In fact, I just checked a couple of days ago. We're growing at a faster rate now than ever, and we continue to grow, and it's because you guys. And
Yeah.
so hopefully we're providing a quality product. You guys are getting a good service out of this,
yes.
and it's a good community. What I really like about Talk Baja, what I really like about what you guys do, it's not what I do. You guys do. You guys are so supportive of anybody in trouble.
Yeah.
When somebody posts, "Hey, I'm here, and this is what happened. I'm
Yeah,
stuck.
yeah,
I
yeah.
need help. What do I do?" You guys just don't respond. You immediately respond. In fact, if I check back
Yeah.
in an hour, there's like 100 answers
Yeah.
already, and people volunteering, and it's gringos and locals alike
Yes.
offering their
Yeah.
assistance, and the way you guys respond, it warms my heart, and it makes me so glad that I put all this work in to do this. I'm going hoarse, see? That's why I shouldn't do podcasts. But thank you. I want to thank all of you.
Yes. So thanks for tuning us. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Tuning in. Yeah. And we're going to be looking for your comments and messages so we can address them on our next episode. And as far as I'm concerned, keep enjoying Baja and see you on the next episode.
Well, I want to remind our viewers that we're available 24 hours a day on Facebook. And in fact, believe it or not, there's actually activity going on at 3 in the morning. I had to turn my notifications off on my phone. We get members in our group that live in Europe and Australia. They're posting in the middle of the night. So there's always something going on in the group at all hours.
Yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in. Definitely send us a message. We're going to be looking for your comments so we can include them in our next episode. And Ron, let's say goodbye to our friends.
Like we say on the website, epic adventure starts here. Be nice to people.
Yes.